The GMen Show 24. What's Apple's vision for smart glasses?
Yeah, it's the GMen Show. Talking fruit, tech, and ego. Hot takes, cold coffee, still hitting every keynote. They roast your phone. No. They roast each other. Tips, rants, one after another. Is that a feature or just a bug? Either way, it gets a shrug. GMen Show. Turn it up. Let the fanboys know. Questions, rants, or a nerdy confession. Call in now. Join the obsession. 703-828-4677. 703-828-4677. Yeah!
Hi everyone and welcome to the GMen Show. Well, will they, won't they? Does anyone really know? The analysts that follow Apple would have you believe that they do. They don't. And I think we're talking about Apple glasses. Are we not, Guy? How are you, young man?
I'm sore and tired and all kinds of things, trying to clear out all the snow that we got last week that just turned into a solid chunk of ice. It was not fun. But this week, the Carolinas...
No, snow to ice is not fun, really, is it?
No, and you know what? I don't mind snow. I can deal with snow.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as there's like an ice factor built into it, then it's like, no, I don't want to do this. But of course, you know, it's either that or fall on your ass as you walk through your yard. So we finally got it done, but it was a royal pain in the neck.
Been doing anything else, or was that basically taken up most of your week?
That took up most of the week.
Okay,
you know, because I can only do, like I think I told you earlier, I can only do about 45 minutes. And then I've got to rest. I got to get my hands warmed up again. And then I go back out and start up again.
So it's like 45 minutes once a day, really, isn't it then?
Well, a couple times a day, maybe. Unless, you know, the wife ticks me off and then... And it's like, you're on your own, sweetie. No, I never say that to Tracy. That would be
never, ever.
Instant death.
Well, my week's been pretty normal. Although when we go out mountain biking at the moment, going around the woods is really muddy. I mean, really muddy. So I'm coming home and basically hosing myself down as well as the bike. And I get back.
Did you get a lot of rain recently?
Well, we have had quite a bit of rain, but the woods that we go to, it's funny because some areas of the woods they seem completely dry, but other areas it really holds on to the wet, and there are areas where you've still got to cycle through, and obviously all the bikes going through it just churns it all up and it turns into deep thick mud, which is good fun and good for testing your skills, especially when you're going downhill rather quickly and basically you end up going sideways. Good fun.
At the same time that you slow down to almost zero, depending on how deep the water and mud is.
Well, yeah, sometimes you go down to zero, but you're then generally on the floor in it.
On the other side of the bike.
Yeah.
The bike is in a different time zone.
Absolutely. Anyway,
so
which mic are you using?
Oh,
no, nothing else. Well, nothing else really. Well, I will do, but you asked me what else, but just normal walks and, just in plenty of volunteering like I've been doing normally, and all the usual stuff. Little on my Mac. I've got really into a routine where I really don't have to do very much. It does it all itself. I've got one or two very easy little shortcuts that I use on my phone. I use my iPad. I think I use my iPad far, far more than I'll use my Mac, but the Mac is still so much better. Certainly for a large screen when you're using numbers and some other stuff that I do. Just makes it easier. And it's connected to the printer easier, but so the Mac really is still for the workhorse for doing stuff.
Well,
and the iPad is really just info/entertainment.
Well, let me ask you, because I'm sure this is going to come up in snippets and possibly other places. Did you look at the Creative Suite?
No.
Didn't even look at it?
I didn't even look at it. If I've got to pay for it, I don't want it.
Okay.
I don't need it. I don't need it. The thing, if I'm a little concerned because I opened Numbers on my Mac today and it said go to the App Store to see if you could, to upgrade because this version won't be supported in the future. And then it says in the App Store in-app purchases. Every single app that I get on my iOS device, I look at it and if it says in-app purchases, I veer away from it. I either want to buy the app or you offer it to me at a different level. Don't go with the in-app purchases unless those in-app purchases are that you can buy all of the functionality for the life of that app. Okay, and I'm thinking, and that really upset me. Going back to our last week about Apple's, gloss has gone. Yeah. It really, I looked at that today and thought, yeah, the luster really is going from Apple for me, for sure.
Well, I also looked at Creative Suite, and for people who don't know, I record the audio version of this show through a program called Hindenburg, which once a year I have to pay for, but that's fine because it has so many of the features that I find to make it much easier to edit the show. And for editing the video, I use CapCut, and that's been it for a while. I did use DaVinci for a while, but I found it to be overcomplicated for what I needed it for, which was basically just adjusting volume and opacity on various things on the clips themselves. So I thought about that, and the big draw for Creative Suite, of course, is Final Cut Pro and Logic. Mm-hmm. But if I'm using CapCut, do I need Final Cut Pro? Not really. It's a whole new program I would have to learn that wouldn't give me much in the way of benefit over what I'm already using. And of course, the other one is Logic. Do I need Logic if I'm already paying for Hindenburg? And the answer is no. Everything else, including Pixelmator Pro, which is, and this is nothing against the people that developed and designed Pixelmator Pro, but my graphics needs are pretty simple. It's so I just use this program called Acorn, which is not a subscription service, and it's a great little, editor for photos or graphics or whatever it is that you want to do. So I didn't get it. And it's not that it's expensive. It's $12.99 a month, which, considering that I'm already paying Apple close to $40 a month for all the other crap that they're selling me, it's kind of like, oh, well, you could go ahead. It's like, no, but do I need it? Do I need the two big draws from Creative?
That's the thing. That's the thing, Guy. That's where a lot of these subscription services kick in. And if you're not careful, they add up and add up and add up and add up. I review my Apple One on roughly a quarterly basis. And the thing is, I spread it out amongst the family. And the biggest part of that, which I really use and utilize, is the backup stuff. And all of the family back up their iOS devices to that, that backup facility. A few of them use music more than because one or two of the girls, two people are on Spotify and they just don't want to leave it. Although one of them, I think, has thought about moving over to Apple. And it's just, so there's enough, and we use Apple TV quite a lot, although not so much more recently, but we use that enough. And there's enough on there for me to say, yeah, I'll carry on using that. But if I start, the thing is, if you get one subscription, then another subscription, if you're not careful, they can start sitting there like a big, heavy anchor pulling you under if you're not careful. So you do have to review them. It's good in a way that you could, if you can jump in and jump out. If they don't restrict you from jumping in and jumping out, then that's fine. But it's just, I just didn't like that in-app purchases option that came, and I thought, hang on a minute.
After Numbers and Pages, all these programs we got for free.
Yeah. So,
well, did you hit the in-app purchase to see what it was? what it was they were talking about?
I didn't, because it was a little time before we came on. So
okay.
And I didn't want to spend too much time looking at, because I thought
you weren't going to do it anyway.
One, I wasn't going to do it anyway, but two, I thought, well, Guy will be on in a minute.
20 minutes later. There's a story.
Anyway, what mic are you using, Guy?
I am still using the glorious.
Do you know, I think
Heil PR35.
I think we are now at a time where you have repeated that so often that we could just, leave it there and only mention it if you change it. Because you see, if there are any new listeners out there, this used to be a regular thing. Every week, every 2 or 3 weeks maybe. But there were times when it was every week. He was changing something, and very often it was the mic. He's got a mic obsession. He's got a mic obsession, everyone.
I have a couple.
Anyway, if you're done, I think we should jump straight into Gaz's snippets. Okay, new AirTags improve precision finding requires certain iPhone models, and basically it's from the iPhone 15 upwards, so the iPhone 15 Plus Pro, Pro Max, 16 Plus Pro, etc, etc, etc. The iPhone Air can be used as well, but I'm not sure, it's not very clear whether that's the current iPhone Air. I've not used the current improved precision finding because I haven't got a new AirTag. I'm not sure how good it is, so we shall hear on the interwebs just how good it is, I'm sure.
But before we move on from that, if you as a listener don't own any AirTags right now, the AirTags 1, which are fantastic devices, there's like deals everywhere for AirTags 1. I picked up 4 more from Amazon, I think for $60. Something like that. So, if you don't have any, or if, you just want to get a few more, this is the time to do it. And, not even worry about, is it louder? Will it get me 0.7 inches closer than,
Gaz's snippets. That shut him up, didn't it? Off the back of that, of course, Apple has released iOS 26.2.1, and Apple has released watchOS 26.2.1, which has got added precision finding support for AirTag 2.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. Apparently, Tim Cook attended the VIP White House screening of Melania, the documentary. I believe that's quite a big hit over there. I'll move on.
It's not. It really is not. Right now, Tim Cook is thinking, well, that's a flight, 2 flights, and 2 hours that I will never get back.
Much like Tim Cook, I had when it came to watching that bloody F1 movie. Anyway, there you go. I'll move on.
Movie.
iOS 26 adoption hits 50%.
Okay.
That is not as good as it used to be, because some users are still reluctant to update. If you can remember, it used to be, a massive amount, a really high percentage of people, like
that
would
80%.
move to, and so I'm not sure quite what the situation is. Let's leave this for a few months and perhaps review it again. Once we've, people have got used to the new OS and whether that ramps up a lot more, because you should really update, especially if you're on a newer phone, to get those security updates as well.
Yep.
Talking about AirTag 2, as we were earlier, apparently it is now being launched in Brazil, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam. Yes, soon. If it hasn't been released, it will be released soon. Apple Watch hypertension notifications now supported in 7 additional countries. That's across Asia, Oceania, South America, and the Middle East. I'm not going to go into each individual country.
Lots of places.
Apple has updated iOS 12 For the first time since 2023, Apple quietly released its first update to iOS 12 since 2023 to keep iMessage, FaceTime, and device activation working on older hardware through January 2027. The update applies to legacy devices like iPhone 5S, iPhone 6, 6 Plus, and the 2013
that was the
era iPads. Now,
what about iPods?
I'm not quite sure. I think they're gone now.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry too much about them.
No, but I'm quite surprised that they're continuing to support, stuff that old. Because this is very unlike Apple. That's it. It goes, especially when it's starting to get that age. I'm not sad about it. It's good, but it's
odd.
Are we becoming? I say we are Apple becoming Microsoft with legacy items? I do hope not, and I don't think they are. But let's hope they're not. Apple CEO Tim Cook has responded after the ICE shootings in Minneapolis. This hit quite a few pages, so if you want to see what his response really was to his staff. So if you want to see what he said, then I'm sure that you can find it. I'm not going to repeat it here. Apple TV shares its first look at Ted Lasso Season 4, which is airing later this summer. Fingers crossed, because Ted Lasso Season 3 wasn't quite as good as the first two. So let's hope they
enjoyed it.
Let's hope that... I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it wasn't as good as the first two. So let's hope it picks up.
The new season of Shrinking is out. And
can't get into that at all.
The guy that plays Roy in Ted Lasso,
we have tried
he's in it.
3 times. 3 times we've tried to get into that.
I love that show. That is so much fun.
Apple stopped signing newly released iOS updates for older iPhones. So Apple has stopped signing several iOS updates released earlier last week, I think this was, preventing users from installing them even if they appear in software update. The affected versions include iOS 12, iOS 15, iOS 16, and iOS 18. So once you can't really go back.
Like home.
Apple TV has acclaimed London crime thriller coming back soon. Apple TV is ramping up its slate of crime thrillers recently. It's just set the release date for Season 2 of the acclaimed show Criminal Record. I didn't see this first time around, so I'm going to have to check this one out.
Either. Have you been watching the new season for Hijacked?
Not yet. No, we've not started because we've got a really good TV show over here at the moment called The Night Manager, and we're keeping up with that.
Idris is his own mother. Sorry, that's a joke.
It's an in-joke, is it?
It's kind of an in-joke, yeah.
Apple sued by app developer over its continuity camera. An anonymous reader shared a report. Apple is being sued by Reincubate.
Yeah.
Wish I could spoke. Which makes the camo.
I bet you wish you could have said that again.
Which makes the Camo smartphone web app. It's filed a lawsuit against Apple in the US federal court in New Jersey, accusing the company of anti-competitive conduct and patent infringement. We'll see how far that goes.
Yeah, at least it wasn't East Texas.
Apple is soon to take up 30% cut from all Patreon creators in iOS app. Ooh, not sure this is going to go down well. Apple has set a new deadline of November 1st, 2026 for all Patreon creators to switch from Patreon's legacy billing system to the app store's in-app purchase system in the Patreon app on the iPhone and iPad. Patreon is a platform where creators such as YouTubers can receive payments from fans, which can be a valuable revenue stream alongside ads and sponsorships. Apple initially told Patreon that its creators must move to the App Store's in-app purchase system by November 2025, or else Patreon would risk removal from the App Store, but the deadline was pushed back. Apple considers payments from supporters to creators on Patreon to be digital goods that it is entitled to receive commission on. I'm not sure this is a great move by Apple.
No, this is a really bad move.
Because people will see this really as Apple taking their money that they're trying to pay to the creator. and it's like it's almost a straight tax. And I think, however Apple see this, that they should be entitled to it, they are coming a bit heavy-handed, Big Brother-ish, and I'm not sure it's going to look that good if they do push this through.
Well, what a lot of people will do is just either stop using
Leave,
Patreon,
absolutely, yeah.
or
well,
just do it through their computer or whatever, and not even use it on the phone or iPad.
Absolutely, which is not good. You want people in the ecosphere, Apple, and the more you push them away, the more they will look for other products which you want them to buy. Anyway, Apple was fined a total of $851 million last year for privacy and antitrust violations. Publicly available information reveals that Apple was fined a total of $851 million last year for privacy and antitrust violations, down, get this, from $2.1 billion in 2024.
Yeah, it's EU and Norway and
well, I think this is in the States, to be perfectly honest with you.
Really?
It does say find a total, so you might be right. Journalist says no, they were being fined more than that, the 800 in 2025, but EU. I think this might be
well, it doesn't
US.
include Ted McWeeny.
Journalist says a high heart rate alert from his Apple Watch saved his life. Stephen Pollard wrote about how a high heart rate alert from his Apple Watch helped diagnose potentially serious drug interaction issue. Well done, Apple Watch.
And
Apple
then he
pushes.
sued them.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because he got a high heart rate. Apple pushes carrier settings update to fix Telstra issue on iPhones running iOS 16.7.13. Apple released a carrier setting update for Telstra customers in Australia that resolves the issue affecting iPhones running that version that I mentioned, which was released and then made unavailable by download by Apple. The fix delivered via a carrier bundle update, which adjusts network-related settings such as connectivity and calling features without requiring an iOS update. Cool. Apple faces lawsuit over continuity. Oh, I've mentioned that already. Apple's Fifth Avenue store is closing down probably already, or it's going to be doing it this week. And it is iconic. Apple's iconic Fifth Avenue. No, will you let me finish?
Yes, I will let you finish.
Apple's iconic Fifth Avenue store in New York City is normally open 24/7, but it will be closed overnight on some days this week. According to Apple's website, the store will be closing at 10 p.m. local time each night on Monday, February 2nd through to Wednesday, February the 4th. The store will reopen each morning at 8 a.m. It's closing the store to complete maintenance on the signature glass cube entrance. That is a very iconic store.
It is a beautiful store.
I've been there. We went to New York and I had to go to that store. But that was many, many years ago. Apparently, ahead of the earnings call we recently had, Apple stock was suffering its worst stretch since 1993. Apple stock is under pressure as investors grow. I mean, that's not really true, is it? Let's be honest with you. Because surely their worst stretch was when they went down to like a penny.
No, well, the lowest that they got after their IPO was, I think, $12 to $13.
I suppose what they're talking about is the fact that it's the worst stretch of bad results rather than
losses or percentage of losses.
But,
it's hard to say.
Yeah. But they're not exactly struggling, are they?
No, they are not.
Okay. I feel sorry for every single one of you. Apple TV has revealed that F1 has become its most watched film ever. So sad.
I've heard some people don't like it.
And it's funny, I've got something coming up which kind of relates to that in a different way. But I'd like to add the waste of time that goes on to this into this next, or not the next item, but an item which is coming up. You'll know it when I come to it. Apple's new acquisition could solve my biggest AI problem. Apple has acquired Q.ai in a deal estimated around $2 billion. We shall have to see just how much that improves Apple's AI and Siri. Apple CEO
more about that in a little while.
Apple CEO Tim Cook says iPhone sales were simply staggering towards the end of 2025. Yeah, well, they had a record-breaking 143.8 billion revenue, which was up 16% year over year. Yeah, you see, they really are doing quite badly, aren't they?
Oh, I down the tubes right now.
I've got a link here which says Apple reports its first quarter results. I'm not going to go through them.
No,
I really, it's not our forte.
Crap ton of money.
We can come up with a load of money statistics, and no, we're not going to. Apparently, Apple responds to skyrocketing RAM and storage chip prices. On an earnings call with equity analysts today, Apple CEO Tim Cook responded to fast rising RAM and SSD storage chip prices in the supply chain. He probably responded by saying, "Yeah, they're going up." That's probably meaning, well, there's another report coming up, but I'll come back to that in a little while as well. Apple just reported its best ever quarter for iPhone sales. Apple confirms Gemini-powered Siri will use private cloud compute. During the fiscal Q1 2026 earnings calls, Tim Cook and CFO Kevin Paraka fielded, albeit vaguely, questions regarding the recent deal to have Gemini power the next-gen Siri. I won't go into what they said. Rivian CEO has touted great working relationship with Apple despite the lack of CarPlay support. So maybe CarPlay will go into Rivian eventually, but certainly not yet. Apple has discontinued the iPhone upgrade program in the UK. I scratched my head when I saw this because I thought, do they have an upgrade program? They kind of do, because what they've got, and I've used it multiple times, is their upgrade program in the UK has made changes to the upgrade website. The company says it's starting to use a new chapter for upgrades and that the iPhone upgrade program is coming to an end. Apple also appears to be winding down its partnership with Barclays, which was the bank behind the iPhone upgrade program. So basically, I think if you can get an interest-free, an interest-free 0% loan through Barclays if you're approved to buy an iPhone, and I've used that for, good grief, the last 2 or 3, possibly even 4 phones. So basically, rather than paying it all up front, I pay each month whatever the cost of the phone is, right, over 2 years. But I'm not sure. I mean, they've obviously defined it as an upgrade program, which it kind of is because it's offering you that deal.
Was that every year or every 2 years?
No. No. You could pay it off sooner, and then, because if it was available the following year, which for a lot of people it would be, because they're not going to have it every year, because they're going to have to work out every 2 years who's had the phone. So basically it was always available. And if you paid your loan off, or you could get another loan with them for another phone because you just wanted to pay off that, over the same period, though getting another loan through Barclays for another phone, they'd probably refuse you anyway. So you'd have to have paid the loan off, I would have said. But basically, that was just available to anybody who wanted to buy a phone. And if it just made it easy. But they've said that's stopping, but they're actually saying that they've got a much better program coming. So we shall see. Perhaps they're going to pay us to get the phones. Ha.
Yeah.
Ha.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Ha. Apple has teased innovations that have never been seen before this year. A few weeks ago, we were talking about all these new products that people were touting Apple was going to bring out, brand new products, like 20-odd products. Well, Tim Cook believes that his company will have opportunities to deliver innovations that have never been seen before this year.
It depends on what innovation means.
correct, because if innovation means, well, we're now doing subscriptions on all of our apps that we used to give you for free, I don't think that will go down too well.
Phone has better camera, faster processor. It's like, oh, yeah, really? It does?
Really?
Wow.
Really? Yeah, we'd never seen that before.
No, that's never been heard of.
Apple debuts its 2026 Chinese New Year short film shot on iPhone 17 Pro. We are watching a series. We've been watching a series called Red Eye on ITV, and they often have a sponsor at the start of a program. You know,
sure.
ITV thrillers are sponsored by XYZ. Well, Apple have been doing it. And they've been showing you snippets of this particular set of clips which have been filmed on the iPhone. Although extra software is needed, it does say at the start of the clip, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's awful, Guy. It's absolutely awful. They keep doing this zooming into the face as though, yeah, great, but I don't want to watch a film, short or long, which just keeps zooming in to somebody looking pensive. Just come on.
And there's a name for that because they did an ad here of it was for the iPhone, and it was basically like, you know, two detectives going into a warehouse.
It's the same one, and one of the detectives falls through the floor. Yeah,
fun.
And they
flash zoom or fast zoom or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And then it goes to like all the other things that apparently is telling him something that he doesn't explain.
And it's just because
they never solve any crimes, Kaz.
They don't.
They just do stuff.
They just keep zooming in on clues.
Yeah.
What? Anyway, Apple loses more AI researchers and a Siri exec to Google and Meta. Apparently, a new report from Bloomberg today has highlighted ongoing exodus from Apple's artificial intelligence and Siri teams. Mark Gurman reports that Apple has lost at least four of its artificial researchers in recent weeks, in addition to a top Siri executive. Not very good. Okay, so remember I said that I think that people are seeing a lot of wasted time. Well, this particular website, it's called bugsAppleLoves.com. That's bugs, B-U-G-S, Apple loves.com. And basically, they've turned Apple's most annoying bugs into a scoreboard of wasted human time.
How much time did they waste creating a website?
Well,
it's hard to say.
Well, they certainly didn't waste. And it says here, total time wasted by humanity because Apple won't fix these. And it goes through the formula and it shows you which bugs, and it goes right into it. It's quite a long website with lots of stuff, but it says it's 32.4 million years every year that people waste. And I'm thinking, yeah, you've not put F1 in there, have you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll put this as a link into one of the show notes. What do we normally use? Let's.
You can either put it in Gaz's link or in.
I'll put it in Gaz's link.
Okay.
Here we go. I'll put it there now so I don't forget. There you go. Bugs Apple loves. And I must admit I did find that quite funny. Apple has changed how you order a Mac, Guy.
I was wondering if you were going to get to that today.
So they've recently updated its online store with a new ordering process for Macs, including MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, iMac, Mac Mini, Mac Studio, and Mac Pro. There used to be a handful of standard configurations available for each Mac, but now you must configure a Mac entirely from scratch on a feature-by-feature basis. In other words, ordering a new Mac now works much like ordering an iPad. Yeah, right. I went onto this and tried it, and then I skipped and did something else, and he went, oh no, hang on a minute, Gaz, no, you can't have that version unless you've already got this version. So just how much capability they give you to be really able to order exactly what you want, I'm not so sure, but it has come, and I didn't see a great deal of difference, if I'm totally honest.
Well, and they kind of say this in the press release. It's they did used to have, and when I say used to have, I meant it was like the default low end model that would have X amount of RAM and X amount of storage and blah blah blah. All the standard features that if you walked into an Apple store, that I don't know why I'm there. That's better. If you walk into an Apple store and said, I want a Mac Mini, and they would just hand you a box, and inside of that box would be a standard, 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage Mac Mini. And that's fine for people that want that. But now they don't even really have the standard models anymore, the low end models. You have to go all the way through and select all the things that you want, even if it's low end.
Yep, absolutely. So go and give it a try, folks, and see. Yeah.
And if it doesn't work for you, we recommend you go to bugsapple.loves.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we spoke, or we might be speaking about something along these lines later on, but Apple Vision Pro launched 2 years ago, Guy. 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can you Adam and Eve it? Now, this also relates to something we were talking about earlier. This came up on my radar today, but the one that we were talking about earlier came up on my radar last week. Apple will need to walk a tightrope if it keeps pushing subscriptions. Damn right they will. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak signed a 1976 Apple computer check, number 1. It sold, the check that is, for $2.4 million.
Huh. And I
do you want to know how much?
Yeah,
do you want to know how much the check was worth?
We do.
$500.
So,
Brilliant.
inflation. That's
inflation
what that comes down to.
And here's a story relating to an earlier story. Will Apple raise iPhone prices due to skyrocketing memory chip prices? Do you know, this program is so circular, it really burns me sometimes. And that's the end of Gaz's Snippets.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Well, Apple is usually so generous about their pricing. Yeah. So, and of course, Gaz's link will be in the show notes, bugsapple.loves.com. What we're going to talk about sort of this week is the magic glasses, the next version of Vision Wear that Apple is going to release beyond the Vision Pro. But it's also kind of a condemnation of all of the analysts out there that spend a lot of time speculating on what's being released and what its configuration is going to be.
I like what you did there, Guy.
Tell me.
Speculating.
Yes.
Speculate. Speculating. Very good.
Incubate. Was that the name of that company?
All right.
No, it was Re-Incubate.
All right.
It was Re-Incubate. No. See, I have to bring these up because I'm stupid all of the time. And the rare occasions where I get to go poke at you, gotta take them up.
Okay.
Gotta take them up. All right. Well, when it comes to Apple's new product releases, most analysts spend a lot of time speculating on what comes next. Sometimes they get it right, and the bar is set pretty low here. New phones, watches, iPads. Other times they miss the boat. Years of a real Apple branded TV or a car has left their credibility somewhat shaky. Of course, many continue to quote their press releases like it's out of a burning bush. Well, we've been on the cusp of a folding phone for a few years now, and when Apple doesn't release one,
and you know it's now changing into a flip phone, don't you?
Yeah. Well, because they couldn't keep saying folding. Some of the analysts claim that it's a failure on the part of Apple rather than them projecting smoke. So, one of the other big things going on now is the rumored release of Apple's debut of smart glasses. These aren't intended to be the next version of the Vision Pro as much as similar in design outwardly of the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which is weird because in the same vein, another outlet claims that it will be without displays built in and tied to your phone instead of being a standalone device. The next generation is rumored to have the displays. So, according to the experts, Gaz, what is this thing supposed to have for hardware? Well, traditional eyeglasses frame with sunglasses and or prescription lenses, low power processor from the Apple Watch SE to handle sensors and cameras. And speaking of sensors, a microphone, possibly motion sensors, along with maybe some health biometric stuff, rumors on rumors, built-in open speakers with integration to AirPods for private listening. Okay, what is this supposed to be good for with no display? Taking pictures or movies, identifying buildings or local landmarks, translation assistance, and phone calls. Those last two, yes, I could see it being good for that. The rest of it, no idea. Now, according to these analysts, all commands done via voice with an updated Siri and a more advanced AI leading the way, because you know how well those have worked since Apple started talking about it. All of these rumors naturally come with zero information coming from Apple. Will we see something like this in 2026? If it does, I will definitely grab my Apple folding phone to turn on my Apple branded TV and start up my Apple car to rush out and get one.
I don't think you think it's going to happen, Guy.
It's not that I don't think it's going to happen. It's the constant to and fro of the analysts trying to come up with something. And I mean, most of these guys that are relatively successful, the GMens and the Minji Kuos and all that, they put out a weekly rumors. They put out like a weekly or monthly newsletter with all of this stuff that they say, oh, well, you know, we've heard from anonymous sources. It's like, yeah, like even if it's true, anyone from Apple or their suppliers is going to sit there. Yeah, put my name down. Yeah, it's Fred Jones. I have a great Dane called Scooby-Doo. So, yeah, you know, and every single time when nothing happens, or when they get it completely wrong, silence. They say nothing. But oh my God, OMG, if they get some little point correct on something that Apple does, they crow it to the hills because, you know, that means that they're number one, Gaz.
Yeah. Steve would say.
No.
So let's, since we went down this alley, let's briefly talk about these rumored glasses. So no screen. It's just going to be sunglasses or whatever your prescription is.
So if there's no screen,
everything it's tied to your phone, according to the analysts. If you want to do something that's more complicated than what the glasses can handle, it gets pushed to your phone.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the what's the word that they used when you overlay something?
An overlay.
No. There's a word that they use for it. There's a term, and it's completely left me. And I think Tim Cook actually was jumping on this bandwagon quite early on, because it's like when you're going somewhere and it can overlay this building is the X building, or recognize people in front of you, or tell you about streets and directions. But
you're talking
it doesn't
about
give you a screen.
the 3D view that they used to do with
No,
maps and
no,
stuff?
Okay. No, not at all. No, it's not. It's just like an overlay. And there is a terminology. It's going to really frustrate me, and we'll probably put it in the after show what I mean. And everybody listening to this is absolutely screaming at me, knowing exactly what I mean. But basically, it's nearly, I think it's on the tip of my damn tongue. Anyway, it can be put augmented.
Oh, augmented reality.
Augmented reality. And I think Tim Cook is big on that, and he wants that. And I think, so if it's not going to be a screen, it's got to be a screen so it can actually put it onto your glasses. So,
but can I interrupt for just a second?
Yeah, of course you can.
Like 10 years ago, he started talking about AR.
Yeah.
And other than the Vision Pro, what do we have?
Nothing.
Nothing. We got nothing.
We had nothing. We started to get a few augmented realities on the phone, didn't you? Because what you could do is you got some apps, and you could use the vision on the camera on the app in a particular on the phone, and then certain apps would then augment whatever it is that you were trying to augment. Now, for me, if they could put that information into your glasses, there is an app that I use, the Ordnance Survey Map app. And it had a vision, and it could tell you location points. So if you were out in the country and you were looking at a hill, it would tell you that's a particular hill, or there is a village which is 3 miles that way. That sort of thing in the glasses would be absolutely superb.
If
that's what they'd be used for
on the glasses.
Yeah, it would be augmented over what you're seeing. It's like a heads-up display, basically, isn't it? When you get a heads-up display in your car, it's so almost the same thing.
And it could be a huge boon for people with vision problems. I know you and I have talked about that before, having both camera outputs go to one screen, depending on where the individual doesn't have vision. I don't have vision in my right eye, so in that case, the camera here on the right-hand side and the camera on the left-hand side would provide a combined image that would be on the left-hand side, so that I could see that.
Absolutely. But the camera is what concerned a lot of people. Certainly when Google brought their Google Glass out, that's really got a lot of people annoyed. Now, I think that's going away a little bit because everybody is always recording stuff. Yeah. So I'm not sure that's going to be such a big problem these days. However,
unless you're in a strip club, don't take pictures in a strip club. Apparently, they get very upset. From what I've heard.
Well, you can, but then you'd find out exactly what's going to happen to you afterwards. So it's up to you if you're going to be that stupid. But the point is, the app that I use, the Ordnance Survey app, it doesn't need a camera. What it uses, or what it can use, is basically your location and which way you're pointing. So it can then... So a camera would help, certainly in the middle of a city, because you're likely then to be able to use your mapping that you've done to identify buildings and know exactly which way you're
landmarks.
pointing.
Like if you're in Central Park and you see a statue of somebody and you don't know who that person is or why they have a statue in Central Park. Well, you walk up
and then it's not so much just identifying them because you walk up and it tells you who it is, but then the augmented reality could then help you say, right, I need more information.
Yeah.
And it could give you a whole lot. Anyway, we're talking about, we're doing as much rumoring as the rumorers go.
Yeah. Well, no, we're talking about what we would like to see.
Yes, true.
We're not saying, well, Apple is definitely releasing folding glasses that also make you a martini or, something like that. No, we're not.
Oh.
No, we don't do rumors. I mean, we'll talk about rumors, but it's not like we'll sit there and say, well, Apple is definitely going to release the next MacBook on, and it's going to have an A18 Pro processor or whatever.
Awesome.
We just talk about. Thank you, Steve.
They require a lot of horsepower.
They did. It really did. We basically just talk about occasionally, and we don't do it. We don't do it often. Rumors that other people are talking about, and that's kind of what happened with this show today.
Something very exciting.
What? I'm sorry, Steve?
Something very exciting.
Still didn't catch it.
Oh, did you not hear that? So I must have turned that one up. It says something very exciting.
Oh, all I heard was something very, or something like that.
Okay.
I didn't hear the exciting part, which would have been more exciting, but
Anyway.
So, there are a lot of applications for something like this. Now, I haven't looked at the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I haven't looked at Meta's, whatever the hell they call their thing that goes on your face, like the Vision Pro.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know. It's from Facebook, which kind of throws me off right there. It's
Correct.
Like, how much more does Facebook need to know about me? And the answer to that is almost always nothing. So if Apple does release these, glasses without display, it's going to have to do a bit more than translation or identifying buildings and landmarks or taking pictures in order to convince me that this is a product that I want. What do you think about that?
Yeah, if it's not got a screen or it's not got any augmented reality vision into the glass itself, for me, what's the point?
I would
really
agree.
What is the point? So,
and
yeah.
Oh, you know what? And I just thought about this. What about augmented glasses that tie into your car? So when you flip on your turn signal to switch lanes or whatever, a little screen will pop up in the glass to show you if there's anything over there that you have to worry about. Kind of like the next step in blindside monitoring. That would be cool. And that would be something I would really like, because right now, if I'm on the highway and I'm switching lanes, even if I don't think there's anyone around me, I still use the turn signal because I need that notification from the car that there's nothing there, because I can't just turn to the right and see what's there because I won't see it.
To be perfectly honest with you, Guy, I'm going to say there is more road users than other cars and motorbikes. Pedestrians are also road users. So I always try and indicate. Sometimes I forget, but I always try and indicate, because you're not just telling other cars which way you're going, you're telling everybody which way you're going.
Real quick, did I ever tell you what happened the first time I went to London?
No.
And the number of times I almost got hit by buses or taxis or what else was, I'd get to a crosswalk and I would, without thinking, turn in the direction that I've been programmed since
Look
birth.
left or look right. Yes.
Exactly. And the first time it was like there was someone behind me who literally grabbed my shoulder and then was like,
pulled you back.
Yeah, and was like, why weren't you looking? I said, well, I did look. I looked over on this side because that's where I have to worry about it in the U.S. And then
You're
they
not
gave
in
me
the U.S.
I know. They gave me a pitying look and said,
yeah,
doomed.
Stupid American.
Stupid American. So there's all kinds of uses.
They probably thought, actually, stupid foreigner, but I'll not go down that avenue.
Well, these days it would be stupid American. We're
I'm
We're
not
getting
saying
singled
anything.
out more and more.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. So glasses, that's, I think we've,
killed that.
Yeah, we've kind of killed. So there's all kinds of things that this could be used for without displays or without some way to show something on the glasses themselves. I think it's a no-go for me and probably a lot of other people.
Agreed.
Yeah. So are you nodding your head?
Oh, yes, I am actually.
Oh, you got one this week. Good.
Yeah, I am.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
I don't know. Preach it, man. Preach it. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have had occasion to want to see all of my online transactions through the App Store. But sometimes it can be quite difficult to find certain transactions through date periods or whatever else it is. I found a little way. If you go onto your iOS device and you go into the settings app, and then on your account banner at the top, you click on yourself, and then you go to media and purchases, and then you tap view account. And then if you scroll down to purchase history, when you go into purchase history, there at the very top, there is like some blue highlighted lines, or not, they're not highlighted, but they're blue coloured. And if you click on that, it will then give you an option, which gives you a date range, which is the last 30 days, the last 90 days, this year, last year, or custom, which is really useful. It will then come up with either 3 or paid options, and then it will come up with the type: apps, in-app purchases, subscriptions, music, videos, books, Apple Care, or other. It just makes it so much easier to find some of those purchases, of which I've had to do in the past, and occasionally, certainly when it comes to subscriptions, want to just check out. And if you're keeping an eye on in-app purchases because you're a parent who's letting your kids use your account, then this way would be very useful, just to keep an eye on what's going on. Yes. Don't you agree, Guy?
I do agree.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Oh, crap. Hold on. What
Brilliant.
happened?
Oh, dear.
That's the
Man.
end of Gaz's
Oh,
No, we've
I
done
hit-
this.
Gaz's
I hit the wrong
That's the end of
Gaz's tip.
Well, I was waiting for you to have to do it all
Let me
manually.
finish.
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
So now what you've got to do is delete that one which hasn't got all of those extras, Guy.
And the problem, because I mean, normally in the past, I would have just gone ahead. Ooh, I hit the wrong one. Then I would just hit each one of the sounds separately. But since I combined them, yeah, they're not in there anymore. I took them all out.
Well, get rid of that one as well, you dumb cough.
I will, right here. Let's see.
Yeah, you don't have to-
Disable,
yeah.
delete. There,
Right.
it's gone.
Moving on.
Thank you, Paul Kafarsis, for Farango. Okay. I don't have a for pick's sake, Gaz. Do you?
No, I do not. I put my link in earlier, so I don't have it for pick's sake. Although
Okay.
I am looking at that OWC Thunderbolt 4 hub, the mini one, the small one, because I think I've got a problem with. I think I've got the original one, and I've had it for crikey, must be 12 years now. And I think it might be playing up on me, and I think I need a new one. So I'm just taking a look. So that's the only thing that might be a Gaz's pick, but I've not bought it, so I'm not gonna call it a pick just yet.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, I have the small Thunderbolt 4.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on home and go home.
Cool.
But I wouldn't have even thought of that if you hadn't said it. So it's not a guy pick either. No, it is not.
No,
All right.
it's not.
I'm not sure, but did we talk about Elisa's feedback last week?
Yes, we've done that. Yes, we've
And
done that.
Alex's feedback from last week?
Yes, we've done that.
We have no feedback for this week, guys.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
remember, if you've done a review of this show in the podcatcher of your choice, still haven't changed it, and we speak about it on the show, make sure you let me know so that I can send you a Woody. And if for some reason, after all this time, you don't know what a Woody is, that is a big W, big O, big T, little I, little E, exclamation mark. That is a Woody. And as well, you can send us bumpers. You'll hear a bumper at the beginning of the show. You won't hear it if you watch the video version, because I have something different for the opening of the video version, but I do put a bumper in each and every opening for the audio version. And if you would like to hear your bumper, and you can say whatever you want, just keep it between 5 to 10 seconds, please. And you can use naughty words if you have to, but they will be beeped. So yeah, do that. So yeah, we're real happy about getting bumpers, aren't we, Gaz?
Yeah, why are you dragging this out?
I don't even know. I don't even know at this point.
Just move on, will you, for heaven's sake.
If you'd like to support the show, don't do it through Patreon, because I'll lose 30% apparently.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, not yet. Okay, because I do have a Patreon account, but I don't talk about it all that much anymore. I do have a coffee account, which is ko-fi.com/MacParrot. Or you can pay a pal through paypal.me/MacParrot. Now, Gaz, if they wanted to contact us, and we still haven't figured out the dynamics of this bit since we changed everything around.
No, we haven't. We've got
fine.
We've got no idea. So I'm going to make sure that I keep you quiet.
His name was Guy.
Oh.
So you can contact certainly, Guy directly. He's not shut up, you see. So that is now not
no
working.
fooling.
So I might as well just bring him back in. There you go. Just send an email to the GMen Show. That's not the GMen Show. That's just GMen Show. GMenshow. At iCloud.com. You can also contact myself on, well, I'm on Mastodon, I'm on BlueSky, I'm on Threads, I'm on Strava. You know, you're only going to go on Strava if you're doing some exercise. So, yeah, hardcore. But I'm on there as GazMaz, GazMaz. We are both also on, well, sort of, on Twitex as Guy and Gaz. That's GUYANDGAZ. And on BlueSky as GUYANDGAZ. You can also, I'm just going to go for it because I've done the email. I know. I'm going to do it.
Go ahead.
Guy.
Yeah.
How would they get
an email from Guy?
Whoop, it cut out right there at the end. An email from who? Oh, actually, we don't. Do we? No, we don't talk about that anymore. But it
GMen Show at
iCloud.com.
GMen Show at
iCloud.com.
I've said it. I just wanted you to repeat it.
Oh, okay. GMen Show, GMenshow at iCloud.com. And if you missed it the first 14 times, it's GMen Show at iCloud.com. Now, if you want to talk to me on the socials, I'm on Facebook, but I'm typically on the two most socially distant social media networks that are out there. One being Twitex and the other one being Skies of Blue. And I am MacParrot or VertShark on both of those. And of course, we have a Google Voice number, which is 703-828-4677. Gaz, is that the right note? Hello?
Call 703-284-677 for the Mind Mac podcast with Guy and Gaz. It's tech heaven. That's 703-828-4677. Get in touch now. Your call is our tech driven lemon. 703-828-4677.
70s dancing. That's how we used to do it back in the 70s, folks. Or, sorry, let me rephrase that. That's how I used to do it.
Yeah, that's
back
better.
in the 70s. That's better. That is much better. And if for some reason you actually did miss that number, 703-828-4678. That's right, guys. 703-828-46. That is the number that you would call. And if you don't live in the U.S., your country code would be 1, then the number, but we do not recommend you calling that number if you're outside the U.S. because you could incur charges if dialed directly. Now, if you're really dedicated to this show, you'll call that number anyway, even if it costs you money.
No, it won't.
Yeah, we don't know. But of course,
we haven't got a clue what we're talking about.
There's the old standby method of all the other ways we talked about. You can just send us stuff there too. I also do the archive for Guy's Daily Drive for all the ones going back to 2018, as well as sort of Tales from the AI-verse, which is still with 2 episodes. I'd have to go back and check. It's been so long. But the weird thing here, Gaz, I'm going to tell you something. I recently went through all of the stuff I have in Apple's Pages app.
Mm-hmm.
I have like 10 Tales from the AI-verse stories ready to go. All I've got to do is put them together. And guess how well I'm doing on that?
Pull your finger out.
Yeah, not that well. So here we go. We're on the sad part of the show, Gaz, where we have to say goodbye. And
sad.
It is so very sad. It brings a tear to my right eye that doesn't cry anymore. But we sincerely thank you, every single one of you, for downloading and listening to the GMen Show. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And Gaz, I think that we're good enough.
Agreed.
I think that we're smart enough.
Definitely.
And that, doggone it, Wolf, I don't even know where Walf comes from. I just have to use like every vowel. So if I go W-Y.
Get on with it.
I think that would also be Wilf. People like us.
A magician was walking down the street, then he turned into a store. End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on home and I go home.